Hello darlings, welcome to Tea with Justine and welcome to my new house, also known as Blenheim Palace, a World Heritage Site. This was gifted to John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, and it was gifted to him for his military valor and accomplishments, one of his biggest victories being the Battle of Blenheim. Now, when the first Duke died, he didn't have a son to inherit the palace and the title, so it went on to his eldest daughter, Henrietta. And when she died, she had a son who predeceased her. So then the palace and title moved on to her nephew, son of her late sister Anne, Charles Spencer. So then there was no more Churchill, but the fifth Duke of Marlborough got approval to use the surname Spencer Churchill. Now, if you're familiar with any bit of English aristocracy and history, that should sound quite familiar to you. Spencer is an Old English family, and its most famous 20th century figure is Lady Diana Spencer, who we all know fondly as the former Princess of Wales, the People's Princess. And Churchill is the name of the Winston Churchill who was born in the palace. So, Winston and Diana were actually distantly related. A neat little fact for you. Now, let's go explore my new home. I can't wait to show you around. Here we keep all our fine china, so we can constantly have tea parties non-stop. Can't have enough fine china, can you? Especially for tea. This here is the red drawing room, where I like to host only my most important meetings. And this here is the green writing room, where I like to do all my greenest writing. I like to keep all the gold I own fixed. I guess that means it's 4:30 p.m. As I was saying, yes, I like to keep all the gold I own fixed into the walls of the house. And this here is the long library, my favorite room, because books are the root of all magic. Plus, there's a nice view of the garden. Our dresses ready to wear. Anytime a guest might turn up, we can just slip one on really quickly and be ready to entertain. And you know, when I'm in need of further inspiration, I just fiddle around on the organ, because music maketh woman. The room that Winston Churchill made his appearance in the world 2 months early during a ball. Well, I certainly learned a lot about Sir Winston Churchill. It was great to feel his strong presence all around us. Here we are in the chapel. in a place as glorious as this one, we must find ourselves close to God. That is a replica of the palace in the form of a cake. I just peed in a palace. I believe they call that moving on up in the world. We are now in the formal gardens. And it's a chilly day, so I am glad I got me some tea. It is absolutely stunning out here. I just love the combination of this manicured garden with the majestic lake behind us. How beautiful is that? Breathtaking. Did you know you can get married here? Yes. Had I known that, I would have totally had our wedding here. You can also do private events. You can film here. Some of you might recognize a lot of this from various films, commercials. In fact, I'm pretty sure they were shooting a Range Rover commercial as we entered. And as you can imagine, upkeeping a place like this, I just noticed how many flies are flying up above me. So, as you can imagine, upkeeping a place like this is quite costly. In fact, the 7th Duke of Marlborough nearly ran this place and family into financial ruin. And it wasn't until the 9th Duke of Marlborough who married Consuelo Vanderbilt. Sound familiar? Yes, that Vanderbilt. It was American railroad money that saved Blenheim Palace and the Spencer Churchill family. Now that was a loveless marriage made purely for economic and social gains. It was Consuelo's mother who wanted greatly for her daughter to become a duchess. So the marriage made sense. The Spencer Churchills needed money. The Vanderbilts wanted to climb the social ladder across the world. And this here is when the kids go on timeout. They get locked in this little section. Or when Chris misbehaves and eats all the Nutella before I get to dig into it at all. Behind us here is a sad-looking bust of the great Sir Winston Churchill, always reminding us to keep calm and carry on. So along this cobblestone path that we're walking on now marks a little timeline of the 20th century, essentially. Interesting. Good to be reminded when who was crowned what and when the different wars started and ended. 1963 made U.S. citizen. Apparently, Winston Churchill was made a U.S. citizen in 1963. Fancy that. Actually, it's a timeline of Winston Churchill's life, but marked by historical events. And also, certain historical events of his life. I hope they're bringing that wood there behind me back into the palace, because we could use a warm, cozy fire tonight. It's times like this I wish I was an expert in birds, because there are these beautiful birds all over the grounds. Well, it certainly seems you could walk on and on and on around here. If there wasn't a path, I'd think we were lost. Ooh, swans! Look at that! Can you see them? I'll get closer. So, as you saw, those guys back there were fishing, and here at Blenheim you can rent a boat and go fishing. What you can't do is do bankside fishing. You have to fish from a boat. I feel like those guys were kind of teetering the line a bit, getting lazy, parking their boat by the bank, but we won't tell on them. Blenheim, you can take a stroll by the lake as we are, or go the opposite way and go by the rose gardens. There's so much to see and do. You could spend a whole day here. This lake was actually man-made, so when you think of the greatness that man and nature can do together, this is a perfect symbol of that synergy. And this place just got even better. There are tons of sheep behind me. I really like this duck-shaped shrubbery. Very classy. Yes, darling, sometimes I like to stroll out here, be amongst the sheep, think of all the ways we're gonna save the world and make it a better place. And when the weather is good, this is my favorite place to enjoy a cup of tea, especially when I'm entertaining. My friends and family and I like to sip tea and discuss how we build strong women for the future. Well, darlings, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my new home, Blenheim Palace. And if you enjoyed this adventure, remember to subscribe to our channel and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms so we can discover the world through tea together. Cheers! Doodles!